You know, I don't like starting videos like this. I really don't. I don't enjoy this, as I've said. But this is how I start every single video. So I ask. One slate. One slate. This one really, really, really did piss me off, too, because I felt like I nailed everything else. So we talked about this in Patreon. My favorite to spend up at the very top in GBPs was John Morant. I was all over the Hornets in tournaments. Rozier, I played at 4%. He absolutely smashed. Hayward and Oubre were guys I liked as well. Hayward smashed. Oubre was solid. Obviously I played the Spurs. They all smashed. And then, Rick Carlisle. Richard Carlisle, my buddy, my man, Richard Carlisle. Let me tell you, he's been at the top. He might have moved ahead of Steve Kerr with what he did tonight. Oh. I don't know if you guys saw that. Okay, so Jalen Smith plays 6 first quarter minutes. Like, that's normal shift. Okay, fine. Doesn't come back for a while. I'm like, all right, this is getting a little bit annoying, right? Like, why is Jalen Smith not in? Checks in with about 4 or 5 minutes to go. So I'm like, all right, this is pretty unlucky, this rotation. Now he sat for like 20 minutes or, whatever. But okay, he's in. He's in for 30 seconds, and Carlisle pulls all the starters. Like, Jalen Smith just checked in, bro. That's not his fault. But yeah, pull him. And then he doesn't start the second half. He finally comes in late in the third quarter and gets hit in the mouth. Right to the locker room, done. One slate, guys. One slate. But with how incredibly unlucky I've been getting in DFS with all these injuries, it was nice to hit a 15x on Prize Picks. That is now 9 of 10 the last 2 days. I went 4 for 5 yesterday, 9 for 10, or 4 for 5 2 days ago, 9 for 10 today. So it was really, really nice to hit this full sweep. Got a little bit lucky with Horford hitting a 3 there at the end, but hey, I'll take it. I had to sweat the Booker under. I took his under assist. Oh, it's easily going to hit. Game goes to overtime. It almost goes to double overtime. Let me tell you, if Booker would have went over, this laptop would be out the window right now. But yeah, guys, that's it for the recap. So once again, my DFS lineup gets sunk with an injury. And this is now about 3 weeks straight, where it's either massive foul trouble or it's an injury. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. All right, really quick before we get into this 8-game slate, if you guys are looking for more in-depth content, you can check out my Patreon links down below. A lot of different packages. If you're just looking for a Prize Picks package, I offer that. If you're looking for a combo, I offer that. Just DFS package, I offer that. So check it out. And then again, Prize Picks is the sponsor of today's video. We just hit the 15x. That's really, really, really good to see. And yeah, if you guys are a first-time user, you can use the code DKDFS. That'll give you a 100% match up to $100. So basically, you deposit using my code $100. That's a free $100 to use on the site. So take advantage of that. Again, Prize Picks is fun. It's a player prop site. You can build 2, 3, 4, even 5 player props, and you win up to 10x your money. On Flex Fridays, though, like today, if you go 5 for 5, you win 15x. So that's why the win felt very, very good. All right, let's talk about this 8-game slate. So Boston and Boston and Orlando. Really quick too, because one guy mentioned that he was like in the comments in the last video, he was like, "Oh, I find it ironic that a fantasy analyst is calling NBA players dust." It's like I'm comparing NBA players. I'm not comparing NBA players to myself, bro. I haven't touched grass in like a week. Obviously, I'm not like, what are you talking about? So I'm going to keep calling them dust if I want to. Yeah, we don't touch grass here. We stay inside all day and play DFS, all right? All right, Boston and Orlando. So Boston, Tatum 9-7, Brown 8-7. I mean, they're playing huge minutes right now. They're playing like 38 to 40 minutes a game. This is a decent spot here against the Magic. I think both are solid plays. Again, 39 and 37 minutes here for Tatum. Brown, 39. Only 34 last game, but he was in a bit of foul trouble. So I think the two Boston Stars look pretty good. Marcus Smart has consistently been playing like mid-30s minutes. He didn't do much last game. Again, also dealt with, or never mind, that was turnovers. I was thinking that was personal fouls. But he's like a fair option in the mid-range. And then Al Horford has been pretty disappointing back-to-back games. He did play 34 minutes last game. So like 34 minutes, he averaged basically half a fantasy point per minute. I know he wasn't super involved, but I would think he's going to get a little bit more involved here, especially when he plays the 5. I don't buy this Horford standing in the corner nonsense. So I don't mind him as a contrarian play. I know he's been really bad the first couple games, but I'm still not out on Horford yet. Brogdon, I mean, he's going to be productive when he's on the court, but he's only playing like 25 minutes a game, so a little bit tough to prioritize there. Derek White's a fair value. He's going to play like mid-20s minutes. He's cheaper than Brogdon, won't be as productive, but a little bit easier to get to in the lineup because, again, he's 4.2K. You got Grant Williams, who you kind of know what Grant Williams will do. He'll be out there for defense. He can knock down some threes. Pretty low usage guy. The dust of Blake Griffin got a DMP last game. You saw Noah Vonleh get the backup 5. And Noah Vonleh, 20 and 14 minutes over the last couple games. Worth a look, I think, in tournaments at close to min price. And then, Hauser, been playing a couple minutes. But if I'm going to go to a complete punt, like in the 3K range, it would be Noah Vonleh. All right, Orlando, they're also running a relatively tight rotation, which is good to see. But Paolo Banchero. I always thought it was Banchero. Why is no one correcting me? Yeah, it's Paolo Banchero. I mean, he's been phenomenal through the first couple games. He really, really has. 18 shot attempts back-to-back games. He's dominating the usage right now for this team. I don't know if he's going to continue to average 45 fantasy points a game, but you can't argue what he's done through the first couple games. He didn't do that in the preseason. He kind of struggled in the preseason, but he's been really, really good to start the year. Carter Jr., I like at 6'6". He also has not shot the ball very well recently, 4-13 last game. But when he does play the 5, he does get a pretty significant boost. So I think Carter's a solid option there in the mid-range. Franz Wagner is 6K. Again, he's kind of just there for me. Good defender, good overall NBA player, but definitely kind of an afterthought in this offense. He can take over at times, but Paolo's probably the first option, followed by Carter Jr., then probably Franz. Jalen Suggs got injured there with his ankle. Probably don't expect him to play in this game. Cole Anthony, I mean, this guy, he is such a frustrating roster. He's so up and down. He's viable for tournaments, but you're going to take years off your life if you consistently roster this guy. I'll just tell you that. Terrence Ross is 5'4". I mean, he has played 30-plus minutes back-to-back games. He's pretty score-independent. I guess not out of play. RJ Hampton's 4'5". He's just not playing enough minutes right now. Probably, I mean, you are getting some decent run for Bull, 18 to 12 minutes, but I don't know if it's necessary on this slate. But hey, again, he will be very productive when he's on the court. Detroit and the Pacers. So this game is really going to piss me off. I can already tell you right now. There's so many things about this game. You got Cade Cunningham under 8K. That's an enticing price point. I guarantee you, if I played Cade Cunningham, he's getting in massive foul trouble. This guy is so frustrating to roster. He's always in foul trouble. Was in foul trouble every game in the preseason. He has somewhat stayed out of foul trouble against the first couple games. I will just tell you this. There's probably like a 60% chance you're going to lose minutes with Cade Cunningham tomorrow because he gets in foul trouble. Now, it's a great matchup. You got two bad teams going up against each other. So this sets up for a good DFS game. But once we get to it, don't get me started on Rick Carlisle and the Pacers. Don't get me started on that guy. Oh. Yeah, Cade, like his ceiling. Jaden Ivey's played well. First couple games, 32, 29 minutes. I'm fine with him. I think I would rather get to Cade. I think the ceiling's a bit higher, but you got to deal with the foul issues with Cade Cunningham if you play him. The wings and Bojan and Sadiq Bey are both fine. Sadiq Bey might have a little bit of a higher ceiling, but they both have a relatively low floor in Sadiq Bey and Bojan. I mean, they can get some rebounds here and there, but they're relatively score independent. They're both fine plays. Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, they're kind of splitting the center minutes. Stewart's got power forward eligibility, so he's probably a little bit easier to get to, where Jalen Duren not playing as much, but he's still been solid, almost a double-double now in back-to-back games. And then off the bench, Killian Hayes has been awful. 1 of 9 shooting, 0 of 5 shooting. But, like, the usage is there, right? He's being aggressive offensively. He's being the primary ball handler. So I still have a little bit of interest in him in GPPs, but he has been really, really bad. And that's about it for Detroit. So moving on to the Indiana Pacers. It's going to cause me so much pain. So Tyrese Halliburton, probably the only guy you can trust. Now, he also got pulled there when Carlisle just yanked all the starters for some reason there in the second quarter. Halliburton still salvaged 1 for 50 fancy points. Again, this is their clear go-to guy. He's got the ball in his hands at all times, so he's a good option here at the top as long as he doesn't get benched. Buddy Hield is 6.3K. Again, only played 24 minutes. Did deal with a bit of foul trouble. You can play him in GPPs. Benedict Mathurin, been really solid off the bench. I think he's viable for tournaments. He could be starting soon for this team. Chris Duarte has been really bad in the starting lineup back-to-back games. He has really, really struggled. McConnell's playing that backup point guard. I just don't really see a minute ceiling with him because Halliburton is in front of him. Now, the bigs are where it gets interesting. So, Miles Turner, Jalen Smith, most likely both out for this game. I think the starting front court will be Terry Taylor and Isaiah Jackson. I think. But you don't know with Carlisle. If Isaiah Jackson starts, I really like him for tournaments. He's a really good point per minute guy. I mean, you saw last game, only 16 minutes, but 29 fancy points. So would like Jackson quite a bit. Terry Taylor has been starting. He's not playing huge minutes, but he's a fair value play. I mean, they've been playing Aaron Naismith a little bit. Goga Bataze's been in their rotation. He's a good point per minute guy. I guess he could start too. O'Shea Brissett probably see some minutes in this game if Jalen Smith and Miles Turner are both out. I mean, I think you saw some James Johnson. I'm pretty sure he saw some minutes. Nemhard too. Like, he went from not playing last game to playing 30 minutes. I don't know what to do. I don't know what Carlisle's going to do. I don't know what to do myself. I'm pre-tilting this. All right. I don't want to see this game on the slate. Please X this game out, please. Cleveland and Chicago. So no Darius Garland. Donovan Mitchell is going to be running the point here. I think he makes for a good spend up. Went for 31 and 9 last game. So like Donovan Mitchell, the two front court guys and Allen and Mobley are both fine plays. Both should play 30-plus minutes. They both kind of eat into each other's production, but they're both relatively safe plays. Harris LeVert should get a little bit of a usage bump here with Garland out. He'll probably be one of the top options offensively now behind Donovan Mitchell. I think he's in play for GPPs. Most likely, you probably see like one of Chetty or Okoro move in the starting lineup. I don't think they start rolling that till. I think they'll start like Mitchell at the point and move like Chetty or Okoro in the starting lineup. Now, Chetty Osman at 4K, played 28 minutes last game, was solid. Do have a little bit of interest in him. Okoro's awful, point per minute. Kevin Love at 5K, I always have a little bit of interest in him for tournaments. I expect, 20 to 25 minutes. But I always find GPP play. I mean, you could see a few extra minutes for a guy like Rule and Neto, but I don't know if it'll be necessary to go to this slate unless he starts. But I would think they probably start like one of Okoro or Chetty. On the Chicago side, so Chicago, Billy Donovan, we know what we're getting from this rotation. We need more coaches like Billy Donovan. Runs a tight rotation, plays their main guys good minutes. Need more coaches like him. Sure, that quote in the preseason did tilt me, but need more coaches like Billy Donovan, more coaches like Tom Thibodeau. Less coaches like Steve Kerr and Rick Carlisle. All right, DeRozan, Vooch. So Zach LaVine will be available for this game. So it does downgrade DeRozan and Vooch a good amount. DeRozan does feel too pricey here. He's been really good through the first couple games. With LaVine back, hard for me to get paid 9.6 for him. LaVine himself, we'll see if there's going to be any sort of minutes cap on him, but I'm a little bit worried about him. Vucevic would probably be my favorite of the big three. I'm not playing huge minutes, though, 30 and 33. Would like those minutes to go up a little bit for Vooch. Going down a bit more, I just don't know if I can get to anyone with LaVine back. Io feels too pricey. Caruso should move back to the bench. I mean, I'll mention Drummond. He's playing the backup 5. He's going to be very productive. He had a double-double last game in 18 minutes. So in a tournament, sure, you can consider Drummond. Like maybe Vooch gets in foul trouble or something. But yeah, hard to really consider anyone else. I mean, Dragic's 3-7. I guess 19 and 23 minutes. A little bit interested in Dragic. But yeah, not a ton else there for Chicago. Toronto and Miami. So Siakam was a guy I originally had as a core play, but did have to make a couple changes. We talked about, loading up on the Spurs in cash, but I was really high in Siakam. Again, I took his over on prize picks. He absolutely smashed. Won for 72 fantasy points, a triple-double. Now he gets a much tougher matchup against Miami, but I'm still fine going to Siakam. He's the Raptor I feel the best about. As far as the secondary plays go, we got Van Fleet, we got Barnes, we got OG, we got Gary Trent. I mean, they're all going to play like 35 minutes. They're all solid plays. No real standouts here. Again, tougher spot against Miami's defense, but the rest of the starting 5 is viable, and there's no one really I like off the bench. Chua's too pricey at 4.7. I'm not playing Christian Coloco, so basically just Siakam and the starters, and that's it. So moving on to Miami. 0-2 start, surprisingly, for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, 9.1K. That's too expensive for him. The two guys I like, once again, are going to be Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. I'm sure if you guys played Bam Adebayo game 1 and then faded game 2, you're probably very, very happy for him. He did well. Went for 19, 8, 5, and 2 steals. I think Bam's a solid option. Again, he shot 1 of 10 to start the game in the first game when he was massive chalk, but he's a solid option. I like Tyler Hero, too. Hero in the starting lineup, 34, 36 minutes. He's like one of their top options offensively, if not their top option. I mean, 15 and 21 shot attempts. I like Tyler Hero again in the mid-range. I think he's a good play. Kyle Lowry's 5'4". I mean, he did have a bounce back there. Went for 40 fantasy points in 33 minutes. He's fine. I would rather get to Hero. I mean, Lowry's been up and down recently, especially in the playoffs. He's a bit up and down, but he is only 5'4", so he's viable. Max Strus is the one guy that's getting big minutes off the bench, 31, 23 minutes. Did really struggle last game, but if he knocks down the shots, he does have a ceiling. That's probably it. I don't think I'm going to get to like Dedmon, the dust of Dedmon, or Gabe Vincent. All right, Houston and Milwaukee. So this game, I mean, anytime Houston is on the slate, whoever's playing, I'm like, the game is going to be game stackable because Houston plays fast. They play no defense. And as long as the game stays competitive, you can see a shootout like he did tonight with Memphis, right? So with the Houston Rockets, can we say this too? Why are we starting Bruno Fernando? How are you not starting this guy? It is Sengun season. Stop it with the Fernando nonsense. Sengun off the bench in only 27 minutes, an absolute smash, double-double, and 45 fantasy points. Again, he's winning most improved player. Start the man. Enough with the Bruno Fernando stuff. And why are we starting Eric Gordon too? Start your rookie Tari Eason, who has played very well. He needs more minutes. Just wanted to say that. Enough of the Fernando nonsense and send Eric Gordon to the bench. Your starting lineup should be Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Smith, Sengun. All right, so this game has blowout risk. Going on the road at Milwaukee. Let's see, what is the Vegas? I would guess it's double digits for sure. Probably like 11, 12 points maybe. Let's see. 12 and a half. Yeah. So this game has massive blowout risk. But if it can stay competitive, you know why. The two guards and KPJ and Jalen Green, those are two guys I was very high on tonight. KPJ was solid. It was Jalen Green that had a really good game. They're going to go back and forth. They both have a ceiling. I think KPJ is a little bit of a higher floor because Green's a bit more score independent, but 20 and 21 shot attempts for Jalen Green through 2 games. That's really, really good to see. Again, KPJ, 19 and 16 shot attempts. He does more than peripheral stats, so that's why I said he's a little bit of a higher floor, but I like the two Rockets guards a lot here in GPPs. Jabari Smith had an awful game last game, but he's still getting a lot of run. I think he's fine. Would rank him behind the guards. I mean, Sengun, you can consider him for tournaments. If he starts, I would like him a bit more because I'll be more confident in his minutes. But yeah, he's going to be great when he's out on the court. So I like Sengun for GPPs. Eric Gordon at 4.6 does feel a little cheap right now for his role. He's playing over 30 minutes. I think he's okay. Again, Tari Eason isn't playing as much as I would like. He needs more minutes, though. He is 4.5. Bruno Fernando at 4.4 only played 12 minutes. Got in a little bit of foul trouble. I mean, if he starts again, yes, you can consider him, but I'm just a little bit worried about his minutes. And yeah, I mean, you saw some run for KJ Martin. He saw 23 and 25 minutes at 4K. I guess you could do worse. On the Milwaukee side, I mean, I love Giannis Antetokounmpo here if the game can stay competitive. That's the tough part, right? Because this game has massive blowout risk. But if you're going to get 36 minutes of Giannis Antetokounmpo against the Houston Rockets, sign me up for that. Also, like Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis. Drew Holiday had a really bad game last game, shot 2 of 15. That should lower his ownership. Bobby Portis is only 5.6. He came off the bench. He's a double-double threat. I like him. Brook Lopez, would rather go to Portis. And then Grayson Allen, probably the only guy I'll mention, played 32 minutes, is scoring dependent, but does have a ceiling. I mean, I guess if you think the game blows out, you can maybe take a shot on a guy like Jordan Nwora. He only played 16 minutes last game, but that's more of just a large field tournament play. You did see Javon Carter start. If he starts again, yes, you can play him, but he's going to be like the 5th option offensively. Memphis and Dallas. Bet on him to win MVP. Not looking too bad right now. Goat Morant. Let's read his stat lines through 2 games. 34, 9, and 4. And in only 31 minutes tonight, 49 points, 8 assists, 4 boards, 2 blocks, and a steal. That's in 31 minutes. Play him normal starter minutes. Why are we playing Ja only 31 minutes? What are we doing here? Their teams, they're giving their starters 38, 39 minutes. They're stars, right? Ja Morant, only 31 minutes. Play him more. So that's the downside of Ja Morant right now. It's just he's only playing like 31 to 32 minutes in regulation. But he's still just crushing when he's out there. So I still like Ja Morant for tournaments. Desmond Bane has been awful shooting through 2 games. 6 of 22, 3 of 16. Still putting up decent stats. If he has a decent shooting game, he can smash this price point. So I like Desmond Bane too. And yeah, the other starters are solid plays too. Steven Adams is 5'3". He should see around 30 minutes. I think he's solid. Santa Claus Aldama has been really solid through 2 games. He's a guy that can stretch the floor and knock down some threes, get some rebounds. I think he's fine. And then you have John Conchar, who's been playing about 30 minutes a game. I like him for value. So once again, I like basically the whole starting 5 here for Memphis. And then Tyus Jones, I think, is viable off the bench. 25, 22 minutes, playable. Brandon Clark, not playing as many minutes as I would have liked. Only 19, 15 minutes. I mean, he was phenomenal in the playoffs. Phenomenal. I'm surprised how little he is playing so far through 2 games. All right, on the Dallas side, Luka's a good option. Right? I don't want to tell you that Luka Doncic is a good play. He's going to play like 38 minutes a game. Yeah, he looks really good here at the top. Christian Wood feels a little pricey. He had a great game, but only played 24 minutes. That's the downside. We're only going to see mid-20s minutes of Christian Wood. Don't think I can pay that price point for him. The rest of the Mavs are just there. Dinwiddie and Hardaway, they're both fair options. I mean, if you want to take a shot in those wings and hope they hit threes, I guess you can in Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock. They'll play big minutes. I mean, you saw 38 minutes for Dorian Finney-Smith, 30 for Reggie Bullock. I guess I would lean Dorian Finney-Smith since you saw so many minutes. McGee will start. He'll probably play like 15 minutes. Maxi Kleber will see a little bit of run. Played 26 minutes last game. But yeah, it's basically Luka's the guy that stands out. OKC in Denver. And we're not running a 13-man rotation, all right? We're not doing that. Thunder. Really the only guys you can trust are like the top 3 here. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 9.5, I think is a solid GPP play. I'm surprised how much he played because he was banged up. I did not see him playing full complement of minutes, but he came out right out of the gate, played 37 minutes. Josh Giddey, I do think is a little bit easier to get to, played 34 minutes. Doesn't have as high of a ceiling, in my opinion, playing alongside Shea, but I think he's still a decent option. Lou Dort should play big minutes. Relatively score independent, though. You saw like mid-20s minutes for Pokashevsky. Trey Mann saw some minutes off the bench. They just ran too many guys. Kenneth Williams started at the 5. He's like a wing. What are we doing? I don't know who they're going to... I don't know if I can mess with the rest of this rotation. I don't trust anyone really outside of their top 3 guys. On the Denver side, so back-to-back, you should have Jamal Murray back here. Nikola Jokic is going up against Oklahoma City Thunder. And he's sub 11K. I don't think I have to say much else. As far as the rest of the starters go, Murray, Gordon, MPJ. I think MPJ would be the next guy I would take a shot on at 5'8". But a little bit tough to prioritize any of these guys. Then off the bench, I mean, Bruce Brown, Bones Highland, I should say, if you think the game blows out, could play a little bit more. I don't hate KCP. I mean, KCP is playing pretty big minutes right now. He's pretty score independent, but if he's going to continue to see like mid-30s minutes, I think he's at least viable in a tournament setting. And finally, the Clippers and the Kings. So we already know, I mean, what on earth was that rotation? What is Ty Lue doing? That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Brings Kawhi Leonard in midway through the second, and then like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Ty Lue? That was just, thankfully, we don't have to deal with the nonsense there. Kawhi is out. John Wall is out. So I like Paul George here. I think 9-3 is too cheap. I don't know if he's going to be that popular. I really like the matchup here. He did not shoot well last game. No Kawhi, no John Wall, who was pretty high usage. I like Paul George a good amount. This one I took a huge L on last slate. I did not see Zubac playing. I thought he was going to play like 15 to 20 minutes. Comes out, plays 35 minutes. I think that's the most minutes he's ever played. I didn't even know he could play 35 minutes. Yeah, get the clown paint out for me. I was like, oh, Zubac, nah, he's going to play like 15, 20 minutes. The Clippers love going small. Lakers with the small ball lineup. Zubac is not going to play a ton. 35 minutes. So, I mean, if you're going to get mid-30s minutes from Avicii, Zubac, he's the best player in the slate. I will say, don't know if I fully trust it. I'm just going to say that. Zubac played really well. We know Ty Lue and this Clippers team love going small. And the Kings team on the opposite side, not like they're a big team. Sabonis is like an undersized 5. So that's my only concern here. We'll see what the ownership is on Big Zoo, too. Reggie Jackson, I think way more in play now with no John Wall and no Kawhi. He should start at the point. He should play over 30 minutes. I think he's viable in the mid-range. You got Marcus Morris, Norman Powell, the other starters. I think they're both fair plays. Their minutes should go up a little bit, you would think. Off the bench, you should see, my guess is Terrence Mann, Kennard, Covington, Batum. That would be my guess for the 9. I mean, maybe they had a 10th guy. No one really stands out here. Again, the minutes all still kind of worry me here. Really, outside of like Paul George and Reggie, it's just an uneasy feeling because they're so deep. So, I mean, last game, Terrence Mann only played 6 minutes. Luke Kennard was in the closing lineup, played 24 minutes. Robert Covington only played 14 minutes. Nick Batum played 10 minutes. So, like, you would think all the minutes go up a bit here, but just a little bit of an uneasy feeling because Ty Lue, there could literally be like 40 different closing combinations tomorrow, and I would not be surprised. Right? There's so many different ways this Clippers lineup can go, so that's why it's going to be a tough team on a night-to-night basis to feel really good if you're targeting like those secondary guys. So, and finally, the Kings. One of Fox or Sabonis, if this game says competitive, will have a good game, right? Sabonis, my boy, really struggled last game, dealt with some foul trouble. It was De'Aaron Fox that smashed, but this is where the offense is run. And these guys should play mid-30s minutes. I think they're both solid spend-ups. If Fox is going to get more ownership, I'd rather go to Sabonis. But we'll see. Again, I don't think either will be super, super popular. You do have rookie Keegan Murray will be available. He should start, but for some reason, the Kings will probably start like KZ Okpala or like it just start Keegan Murray, start him. Like enough with the nonsense from these teams. But Murray, I do have some interest in him. He played very well in the preseason. Whether he starts or comes out the bench, if he starts, feel a little bit better about him. Harrison Barnes is what he is. He's going to play like 30 minutes. I don't know. Kevin Herter, I mean, he played well. 29 minutes, went for 34 fantasy points. I mean, the secondary plays all just like look relatively similar. Malik Monk only played 16 minutes. That was a bit surprising. You had Terrence Davis play a bit more. I think they'll kind of go with the hot hand approach off the bench. They also have Davion Mitchell, who played 26 minutes, didn't do much. Holmes will be the backup 5. Again, they have Lyles, they have Opala. I don't really feel good about anyone outside of like Fox, Sabonis, Murray. I guess a little bit of interest in Harrison Barnes. Okay, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the video. Again, if you have been enjoying the content, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. One more time. One slate, guy. One slate.